Hello, I'm Joe Galvin, Chief Research Officer for Vistage Worldwide. Welcome to the Vistage CEO Coaching Spotlight, a video series dedicated to exploring the challenges and opportunities facing CEOs and leaders around the globe. In each episode, we'll be speaking with some of the world's best and brightest executive coaches, seasoned mentors who are on the daily leadership climb with business leaders every day, guiding them to make better decisions and become even more effective leaders. Today, we're speaking with Vistage Chair Gary Jacobson about the challenges faced by small and mid-sized business CEOs today, and more importantly, what they're doing in response. Gary chairs a Vistage CEO group in the Indianapolis, Indiana area, working directly with over a dozen CEOs. He's worked the vast majority of his career providing financial and operating services to entrepreneurs, and also as a turnaround CEO at multiple global life science pharma services. Welcome, Gary. It's such a pleasure to have you with us here on the CEO Coaching Spotlight.
Thank you, Joe. It's a pleasure to be here. I've worked with CEOs and entrepreneurs for the vast majority of my working life. First as a senior executive at a boutique commercial bank in Chicago, where we served the growth capital, commercial credit, and advisory needs of entrepreneurs and private middle market companies. Secondly, as an executive at pharma services businesses that were global in nature and had multiple opportunities to do this. In each of this case, this entailed fixing an operational and financial performance issue, and then growing the business organically or through mergers and acquisition. This ultimately led to several successful exits for investors and employee groups. Communicating clearly and honestly to all staff, setting realistic yet challenging goals, and holding managers accountable for the objectives were essential. But learning to do this did not come easily. It's not natural. I learned the hard way versus mistakes. Many of these could have been avoided had I had a mentor or a peer group advisor of CEOs advising me along the way. So my why in pursuing a peer group advisory is to give back and make sure that the CEOs that I come in contact hear my story and reach out for the help that they need and deserve. It's lonely at the top, but you don't need to be alone.
Gary, you work and engage with over a dozen small and mid-sized business CEOs, every week, every day it seems like, right? What's top of mind for them right now? What are people really focused on?
Well, they're worried about inflation. They're worried about, is there a recession? Do we plan for a recession? There's rising costs for debt and equity and the negative connotation that has for evaluations in cash flow. Geopolitical risks that are coming out of Europe, Ukraine, Taiwan, North Korea. Supply chain issues that appear to be abating but still are serious issues. And we have domestic political uncertainty that hopefully will be resolved tomorrow and we can get back to business. And maybe there will be another pandemic. I hope not, but we need to be prepared.
Well, there's a lot of external factors going on. You just gave us a list, and I'm sure we could spend more time on that. But what are the things that CEOs can do something about? What are they focused on in terms of trying to develop their business or grow their business?
Great question, Joe. The overriding issue that I constantly am reminded of by the people in my group is the need to attract and develop and retain, and also make the best use of current and future employees. This is a bottleneck to their growth in a big way, and how they handle this issue is paramount to the growth that they envision for their company. And as a result, this has risen up to a major portion in our group. We're having a speaker at our next group meeting that is going to focus on employment issues, and the title of the speech is I hired workers and human beings showed up, which kind of tells me it's not just about economics.
Well, we're seeing a lot of attention on the hiring side, and even though that's cooling a bit, there seems to be a real shift towards retention and the importance of recognizing that you have to maintain the people you have. What do you see folks doing about addressing retention in their businesses?
They're doing a lot. I mean, these guys are they're driven to succeed, and they love their good employees. They're critiquing their compensation plans and their benefit plans to make sure they're relevant to the people they're trying to pursue, and also that they're competitive. They're also talking about purpose in their business. People want to work for businesses that make things matter to people, that have a higher meaning than just their job. They want to look at companies that maybe have been a standout in sustainability or diversity or philanthropy, or even companies that support entrepreneurial organizations to be bigger and better. They set development plans for promising employees, seriously engaging in authentic dialogue with employees on a regular basis, considering proper balance between in-office working environments and remote environments, while promoting company culture. Given the shortage of candidates now, determining how to make current employees optimally productive by providing necessary resources and training. And opportunities now exist for peer group advisories below the CEO level, for instance, with the Vistage Inside. And they're adjusting their websites and their social media advertising in a method that will attract employees. Their mantra...
With all this focus on retention and the hiring that people are working on, and that's been things that people have been focused on for a while, what are some of and you mentioned the list of everything else that's outside of our control. What do you think CEOs need to be thinking about right now that maybe they're not?
Well, I think it's really, looking at the person and what they want. There is economics involved, obviously, but there's also the soft issues of purpose-driven work environments. And I think that's really driving a lot of employees. And I think my group members are really focusing on that.
So do you think that's a function of the millennial and the Gen Zs who used to request, they wanted that, now demanding it and being able to find it?
It could be, but I was talking to the speaker that I've hired for next week. And I asked her, can you talk about maybe working with the millennials and the challenges that represents? And she said, how many children do you have? I said, I have 3. And she says, are they all millennials? I said, yes. And do you treat them all the same? Of course not. She said, that's my answer.
Okay.
So we've got to be careful not to categorize.
Well, Gary, thank you. You've shared such great insights on the issues and what folks are doing about it. And this last comment about dealing with these new generational workers. Do you have any final thoughts for our community, the folks who are listening in on this?
I just say, love your great employees, but to continue to rid yourself of people that are toxic and don't want to make the change. Keep your customer focus, but expect changes in their purchasing behaviors. Anticipate change in all facets of your business. It's going to happen. And overcome your fear of failure. It will paralyze you. Increase your time working on the business rather than in the business. Don't be the bottleneck through an overzealous need for control.
Gary, thank you again for your time today. It's been such a pleasure to have you on the CEO Coaching Spotlight. And thank you for watching the Vistage CEO Coaching Spotlight. If you enjoyed this talk, be sure to share it with colleagues who you think will find it valuable. For more information and guidance on the top issues you're facing as a leader, visit www.vistage.com. I'm Joe Galvin, Chief Research Officer. Gary Jacobson, thank you so much, and we'll be back for more on the CEO Coaching Spotlight.